Hi everyone, so my name is Matthew Eccles. Welcome to Yorkshire Housing's Workforce Management Journey. A little bit about myself, so I'm the Yorkshire Housing's Resource Planning Manager. Been working for the contact centre for around 2 years now. With me is Tom. I'll let Tom introduce himself.
I'm Tom DeLuca, a Customer Success Manager for Matt, working at injixo and being a planning professional for 10 years now.
So I'm just going to go into why Yorkshire Housing chose a workforce management system. So we've got a constant focus on improving our own efficiency. We want to reduce our overheads. We need to free up money and use our money wisely to develop more properties and provide a better service, a more advanced service for our customers. We're in a current drive to digitalise the business, so we're looking to automate and optimise where we can. We're currently introducing Dynamics, for example, as a CRM. Now, the challenges that we have within the contact centre were and always will be forecasts. So we need to have accurate forecasts to ensure that we're putting our staff where they need to be. Inconsistent workload fit. So previously, without a workforce management system, we always use Excel, and it's very difficult to optimise the schedules against requirement, or at least it's very time-consuming to do that. Schedule adherence, we didn't have one. So we had, again, the only way we could track schedule adherence was to look at something after the fact and compare it to what we had on plan, rather than having anything live available to us there and then. Staff engagement. Staff engagement is really important to us, and one of the feedback, or a lot of the feedback that we got was looking at an Excel spreadsheet didn't really work for our advisors. They had, some people look at things in different ways. Some people want, they need a visual, or some people need facts and figures. So that was something that we had to take into account in how we do our business. Visibility of KPIs. So again, using our data, we have to do a lot of manipulation to get the information out the other side and get it into a format that's pleasing to the eye. So that was another challenge that we had, and it's always something that takes time to accomplish. And going on to the time, we spend so much time number crunching and not enough time providing the business with really valuable MI, so that we can actually make changes to the business rather than just saying how we performed. We want to be able to say this is what we should do going forward, and also that we're in a period of change at the moment, and we are intending on bringing in new channels such as web chat. We're building a new portal for our customers, and all that means more complexity in how we work. So we need to provide ourselves the elbow room to deal with that. And then obviously we went into the COVID-19 pandemic, and that's had impacts on various things such as attrition, our ability to schedule, our staff's availability, the impacts on our staff in terms of their mental health, things on those lines, everything that we have to take into account whilst we're planning for them. So why did we choose injixo with Yorkshire Housing? So first of all, the cost. The cost was excellent in terms of the various products that are out there. There are many, there are a lot of workforce management systems available. The cost to benefit ratio is excellent. The product itself provides everything that was on our tick list. We wanted to be able to automate forecasting. We wanted to be able to put some automation into our scheduling. We wanted to be able to provide a one-way, a nice holistic login portal for our staff. And we needed it to be able to allow us to expand later on down the line. And injixo provided all of that in spades, really. And certainly for the cost that we pay, it was by and large way ahead of competition in that respect. The reputation for support, the support that we've had from injixo has been excellent. I'm not saying that we haven't had bumps along the road with a couple of system issues here and there, and which is completely to be expected when you implement anything really in a contact center, especially when you implement anything completely remotely like we have. However, it's one of those things where you can feel very confident that I can pick up the phone to Tom or drop him an email, and within an hour I will have 3 or 4 people jumping onto the system issue and getting it fixed, and consistently giving me communication to say this is what we're doing, this is what's happening, this is what our next steps are, don't worry, we're on it. And that's something that we definitely need, especially working remotely. You need to still have that great communication going forward, and injixo's been able to provide that to us, and that instills a good level of confidence for me. And they are willing to go the extra mile and adopt to our needs. We when we onboarded injixo, we were quite a young RP team. We were, one of my members of staff had only been working for the business a week, and they provided an onboarding model that was tailored to how we work, I suppose, and who we were as a department. We were a young department, and we needed to have our hand held essentially throughout that onboarding process. And they definitely provided that and gave us the support that we needed at that time. And that, the support that you get from injixo is all from people that are in the business already. They're all former planners, same like Tom. You can throw as many acronyms out there and they'll recognize every single one of them. They'll even give you a few. So it's nice to know that you're not just talking to a company that's bought some tech and think they know about it. They know this business. They know the RP inside out. They know what you're talking about when you're trying to build models. They know the different forecasting types. They know the challenges that you have when you're trying to plan something. And having them know that means that they know the challenges that you're in, and they know that they probably have good advice on how to get around it, or they can at least support you through it. So onto the journey then. So I mentioned it slightly before, but when we started the journey of bringing on board injixo, or injixo bringing us on board, I guess it depends on how you see it. But we were assigned a success manager, our good friend Tom, and throughout that period, we didn't just say, we need to, we'll install it on your system and then we'll give you some videos to watch and off you go. What Tom did is he provided us with, well, first of all, he found out who we were, I guess you'd say. We had a few meetings about who we were as a business, who we were as a team, what are the challenges that we expect to find, and what's important to us. And with that, what Tom then went away and did was he built a training plan that was designed around us. And it was a very in-depth training plan. And again, this is all remote that we had to go through because we were in lockdown at the time. But he recognised that we are a young RP team. Whilst we have experience in RP going back years, I was only been with the business for a year, and one of our members of staff being there for a week, and everyone had been there for a couple of months. So he knew how to, or he figured out how to bring us on board and train us in such a way that we all came out of it with a good understanding of what the system can do, and a good understanding of what we wanted the system to do. He knew that we didn't necessarily need to go into the nitty gritty of the config necessarily for a particular part of the business system, because we weren't going to be using that for a couple of months, or for another year before that part of the system came in place, or we were bringing in those new channels. So rather than spend time investing time on that, he invested time in what we actually needed to know there and then. So we really tailored that training for us, and that definitely gave us confidence in using it almost from day one. And again, what I would say is one of the real positives was they helped us set it up with our staff. Setting up a workforce management system can be quite complicated. There's a lot of information that you have to stick into at WFM to make it work. But what was really comforting was, Tom and his team were there every step of the way to show us, well, actually, if you do X, Y, and Z, that'll future-proof you, so that you don't have to go in and change every other member of staff later on down the line when you bring in this change that you've told me about. So it's things along those lines that's been really positive for us bringing on this system. And then obviously we'll go on to the results. So the results have been really positive, certainly from my standpoint. We've only been using the system for about 8 months now, and from a resourcing standpoint, the impacts on the customer experience team has been that we've been able to maintain our service levels during lockdown. We've had a period of time where our calls have been entering completely outside of trend. And I imagine a lot of contact centres throughout every single industry could probably say the same. What that's meant is that we've had to be really, really fast in how we do our business, how we change plans, how we put things in, what's going to come next. Having a workforce management system allows you to do that quickly, almost on the fly. You don't have to spend hours trawling through your Excel spreadsheets trying to change 40 different coaching slots, you can just click a button and off the system goes, and you've saved yourself an hour's work just there. So it's allowed us to be quite adaptive in how we work during that lockdown period, during all those changes that we've experienced. And that's had an effect on your bottom line. It does actually save you money by doing that. If you can save 2 or 3 hours a day in your planning time, that's massive. That's a real improvement in how you do your business. The impact on our advisors' experience has been really positive. So the feedback that we get from our staff is, they love having that login, their own portal where they can see exactly what's happening. They can plan their life around it. They know exactly when the coaching is. They can prepare for the coaching. They can see what it's going to be about. They can see who's going to be doing it. So it's been a really positive experience for all of our advisors in that sense. We have the highest employee satisfaction scores in the organisation as a contact centre, and whilst that's not all down to injixo itself, it certainly does play a part in that. Now that we're all working remotely, communication is the key, and being able to communicate someone's plan in such a way that they can be confident in what's going on. They can read it really well. It doesn't matter if you are a visual person or if you like numbers. You log in and everything's available to you in whatever format you want to see it. And that's a big step change in how we work, how our staff see their plan moving forward. And it's certainly been more efficient, being able to schedule things in more efficiently, being able to provide them with automated breaks that are automatically scheduled to what our requirements are. So it's really important that we brought this in at the time, because again, it's just saved us time in how we schedule, and it's improved how they see their own shifts as well. Impact on the bottom line, we can monitor our shrinkage really well. It's monitored, it's managed. We can track it down to specific types of shrinkage now. I can say for certain that we spent 1,000 hours supporting other parts of the business during lockdown. And I can tell specifically what that support was, when it happened, who it was for. So that's where we have some real big impacts on our reporting capabilities. Average handling time, again, whilst we had that ability to monitor it, we've built our ability to report on it. We can track what our staff are doing in terms of AHT, their uptime. We can say specifically, you are performing to a certain degree, and this is the impact it's having on our overall contact centre, to a point where we've evidenced that we've saved about 0.75 of an FTE over the last couple of months, just in improved productivity, because we can report on that kind of thing now. So the results on our team leaders, certainly our team leaders all have access to injixo. They can all see what our staff are going to be doing. They can all see their shifts, what they need to be doing. They can plan it all into their daily business. They can also track schedule adherence in real time, which is a big improvement in what we had previously. They can simply log on and they can say, right, well, where's advisor A? He should be in coaching, or he should be on his lunch and he's not. So what's going on? Better reporting capabilities. And if you can't measure it, you can't manage it, essentially. So that's where we've had big impacts or improvements on our team leaders. For the RP team specifically, it's time. We're not spending so much time on working through these Excel spreadsheets, because it's got an AI-based forecast in it, because it can do automatic planning for your breaks and your meetings. It takes that work out of the RP team so that we can put it into something more important. So we're not doing that intraday firefighting. Something changes and you have to suddenly strip your entire plan for the next week and rebuild it within an hour or two. Instead, it's press a button and off it goes, and you can carry on with what you were doing. Building that nice, healthy MI that's going to change how we work as a business. That's what we want to be doing. And then you go on to the optimized multi-skill scheduling. So this is where, again, a big step change. So we are a mixed skill contact center. We want to get to a point where we are, 100% mixed skilled on everything. But because of the attrition that we've had during lockdown, it's very difficult to hire in this period of time. working from home isn't for everybody, unfortunately. So being able to optimize your schedules based on the skill sets that you have and the pools that you have in each skill set is a massive step change for the business. You know, we can say for certain that we would need X at this time, and we know we are confident on that because of our system is set in place. You know, we've told the system this is who we have, this is what they're skilled on, and the system knows, well, actually at that time you'll have this many calls of this type, this many calls of this type, and so you need X. You know, and again, it's about saving that time. Normally we would have to sift through the information and figure out what are we going to need to achieve. Workforce management system does that for you. So that's where we save that time and make that improvement. So lessons to share. So workforce management, it's not just about the software. It's not, you know, it's about being efficient in how you work. You know, if you can have a system that works for you rather than against you, and I would say that, you know, Excel, it kind of works against you in some respects. As much as it does the job, you know, it doesn't work for you. Whereas having a workforce management system, it's like having another RP scheduler available to you. You know, you can ask it to do something, and off it goes and does it. You know, and for the price of it, that's a fantastic tool to have. You know, it just gives you that flexibility in how you work, really. And also it's about, you know, having the WFM system in place. You know, you can't just use it or expect to have it and off you go. You need that support network in place, and Tom and the rest of the guys in injixo have really given that. And that's what one of the lessons I'd sort of mentioned to everybody is, if you are considering a workforce management system, consider the support that you're going to get from it as well. You know, because we are all in a flexible business. We, especially now during lockdown, you know, well, I said we're not necessarily in lockdown unless you're in London or the South Tier 4, but you know, there is a very big requirement around the support that you will need. You know, you need to be able to adapt and change and make tweaks to the system, and having a support network there available to you who are willing to jump on it, say, yeah, we'll be on it straight away, and you know, they'll communicate with you throughout that, every step of the way. That's what you need. So they'll work as a partner with you rather than, you know, as someone that you're paying. They're there because, like what Tom says, that our success is their success, and you can definitely recognise that. You do need to invest time in proper training. You know, training is key. And if the training that you're going to get is to the level that we had, where it's specific to what our requirements were at that time, then that will set you in good stead moving forward. And a willingness to change, you know, so you can either do what you always did and you'll get what you always got. That wasn't good enough for us. We want to change. We want to become a better contact center. We want to be able to provide something that's going to allow us to grow as the rest of the business grows. So yeah, so that's probably the lessons that I'd like to share. Tom, anything from you?
Yeah, I'd like to share that. You know, thank you, Matt. You know, as something that we've learned from the injixo side is that, you know, we have the remote onboarding, but in this case we elected to record the sessions, so we were able to give them back to Yorkshire Housing for a bespoke review of their own training. So we were very aware at the beginning how long the people had been with Yorkshire Housing and that they'd be learning a new job, you know, learning Yorkshire Housing. So we ensured that, you know, we did take the videos to give back to them, so you know that they can relook at them anytime they want, and that was completely free. And we also adopted the idea of allowing each user access to the system to be able to you know, push the buttons and during the training, in order for them to, you know, learn it hands-on as opposed to just watching someone else the whole time. So we found that you know, very useful for us to, you know, try that as opposed to just doing it sort of with a main planner. You know, each person, you know, got a turn. So we found that fantastically useful as well.
Thanks, Tom. I think that's everything really. So thank you very much for watching, and hope to hear from you soon.